The other big story today involves social media and content regulation. It's back on the front burner after the president goes after Google this morning. Tweets, Google search results for Trump news shows only the viewing reporting of fake new media. In other words, they have it rigged for me and others so that almost all stories and news is bad. Fake CNN is prominent. Republican, conservative, and fair media is shut out. Illegal? 96% of results on Trump news are from national left-wing media. Very dangerous. Google and others are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good. They are controlling what we can and cannot see. This is a very serious situation. Will be addressed. It comes as Twitter's Jack Dorsey, Facebook's Sheryl Sandberg getting ready to head to Capitol Hill to testify before a House panel over algorithms and content monitoring. White House, I guess, was asked for comment about what this means. Will be addressed. No answer yet, but it's going to be interesting to see how these companies prove a negative.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
how do you prove that we're not doing something that you say we are?
Sure. I mean, and of course it goes right up against the ethos of a Google or a Facebook and Twitter, which they started out as this idea of we're going to be this kind of neutral pass-through, whatever people want to see, they're going to see. I mean, especially Google, right? I mean, this is search volume. This is basically, they've engineered for 20 years exactly what keyword searches mean for what people want to see. And it's kind of the wisdom of the crowd story. I think we need the story behind the tweet, don't you? I mean, it seemed like a very well-developed brief in a way, the way it was all built up, 97%. I mean, where did that come from, that calculation came from? So it seems there's something behind it.
Well, there's a strategy to completely try to discredit
and to seem like a victim.
Media,
yeah,
and that's part of the strategy of this White House, obviously. Under a lot of pressure on a number of different fronts as the president, in terms of at least legally, whether it's the Mueller probe or what happened last week with Michael Cohen. So no surprise there. That continues, and deeming almost everything that is not necessarily in agreement with his point of view as fake news. I'm curious as to who the regulator is here. In other words, where do you go in terms of actually having some sort of a regulator who actually says or investigates and perhaps somehow agrees that that is the case.
Right.
And then what are the measures that would be taken? It's not clear to me how that process would be undertaken unless it is just directly from the White House in some sort of executive.
Well, they're not using public airwaves. It's not public bandwidth where you have the FCC
Right,
involved.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily the FCC, but perhaps it should be in some way. But that would require legislation, I think, right, to mandate and or expand their, although they might be able to under different. It's unclear to me. I'd love to talk to Ajit Pai right now. Can we get him on the phone and ask him? I don't know.
I did love the slight implicit irony, though, of the president also celebrating NASDAQ 8,000 in a tweet today. That NASDAQ 8,000 driven by Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and Alphabet, which is a big percentage of the NASDAQ. So that's the industry that's getting you to NASDAQ 8,000.
And Facebook, of course.
And Facebook, not a big help this year, but overall it has been a tremendous contributor. Yeah.
And some of the other names in FANG have news of their own. Facebook banning the army chief in Myanmar, and what reports are saying is the first such ban for any military or political leader around the world. I mean, Facebook's been direct about the situation in Myanmar being unique, but to ban a public military leader is something we haven't seen yet.
It just shows you it's judgment call upon judgment call, this entire process that they're in now. And it's not just expensive, it's also just kind of, shades of gray. And almost inevitably, it's going to run up against somebody thinking that you came down on the wrong side. Maybe not this one, but in general.